TikToks, riddle, box, fuck MTV and all radio jocks. Look at me, a hideous, ugly freak. Make your eyeballs melt and drip down your cheeks. Leave you lifeless, snatch your soul. Add your face to my totem pole. Fuck your radio friendly bucks. I won't change my wicked shit for you pussy fucks. Fuck your
Juggalos and Juggalettes, it's your big homie Big Ian coming at you live and direct from backstage at the NorVA in Norfolk, Virginia with the DJ himself, DJ Clay.
What up?
Clay, one of the first things we want to get into is obviously Book of the Wicked Chapter 2 is about to drop next week. And so we just got a couple questions about that. First thing I want to ask is, on the track list for Book of the Wicked 2, we're seeing a lot more tracks with A and B than on some of the other mixtapes that you put out. Can you kind of give us a little insight as to why that is?
Yeah, I think there's like, on the track list is like, what, three ex-Murder Boy tracks, something like that, for this whole time, the first Book of the Wicked, this Book of the Wicked, this number 2, we was in the studio together a lot. I was in the studio during their sessions a lot, listening to them, do their album, stuff that they're working on. They was sitting in on my sessions, we did a lot of studio work together, so it just came out like that, a lot of tracks together. We got stuff chilling that ain't even on nothing yet, just getting it in, having fun in the studio.
Okay. Now, on the track list for Book of the Wicked 2, we also see that there's going to be a remix for the Dark Lotus classic, Bitch, I'm Sexy.
Yeah.
Now, what made you want to make such a bold move to work with this classic song, and how do you think it turned out?
It was a bold move, though. The reason why I remixed it, straight up, simple answer, it's one of my favorite Lotus tracks, as well as it is a lot of Juggalos out there. So, I thought it'd be a fun track and a challenge to do, so I did it, and it came out great. I think it's real dope,
Okay, why do you Bitch I'm Sexy being one of your favorite tracks, why do you think it took you this long to do this remix? I mean, 5 mixtapes in.
Just
6 mixtapes in.
Yeah, just because there's something I never considered doing a Dark Lotus remix until this time. I was like, shit, what haven't I remixed yet? I ain't remixed no Dark Lotus shit. So let me get it in, what can I remix? Hey, Bitch, I'm Sexy, shot straight to the brain, and I was like, let's do it.
Okay, cool. Do you think we might see some more tracks from Lotus or any of the other psychopathic supergroups in maybe a Chapter 3 of Book of the Wicked or another mixtape in the future?
Hopefully, yeah. That'd be some shit right there. That'd be real dope. That's something I'm trying to work on. I want to try and get Lotus on, possibly the next mixtape or maybe one after that,
Okay, so you think we might be able to see a brand new Dark Lotus track on Book of the Wicked Chapter 3?
That's what I'm shooting for.
You heard it here first. You heard it here first.
I'm trying, motherfuckers.
Alright. So I did an interview with Bizarre from D12 earlier this year. I think it was back in July. And in that interview, he said that he had actually spoken to you at some point this year and that you had reached out to them, quote, trying to get them on one of your mixtapes. Can you just kind of give us a little bit of a backstory on that situation and why we're not seeing a D12 song on Chapter 2?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was just talks. Me and him was talking. I called him up, see what was good. Me and him talk every now and then. Real cool dude, cool people over there. And, I was like, shit, it'd be dope to have D12 on a mixtape, But, see, I didn't talk to any of the other dudes personally yet. The only dude I'm in contact with that I know real good is Biz, And I was like, holla at the guys, see what we could do. And he was like, yeah, man, we might be able to do that, So, the reason why you don't see it on Chapter 2 is just because there was never a set time to do it. There was never a set, mixtape to put it on, nothing like that. It was just talks, So, whenever it pops off, if it does pop off, then it'll be on whatever mixtape's coming up after that,
Okay, so it's still a possibility that this D12 track could happen.
It's a possibility. And, it might not happen. It depends on how everybody's feeling. Like I said, I never talked to any of those dudes personally. So, I mean, it depends on how everybody's feeling as a group over there,
All right. Now, have there been any collaborations for your mixtapes that you wanted to make happen but haven't quite come together yet?
Dark Lotus. That track right there. Get everybody. That's the big goal right now for me as far as collaborations, getting everybody together. Let's do that Lotus track. I got the music ready.
Okay, I mean specifically with artists that are not on Psychopathic. Anybody else you're hoping to make an appearance?
Yeah. Cottonmouth Kings. I never had them on a mixtape yet. Never had Cottonmouth on there. We talked on the Happy Days tour. They're ready. As soon as I send them some music, we're gonna do that.
Okay, excellent. What about Book of the Wicked Chapter 2 is going to set it apart from Book of the Wicked Chapter 1?
Chapter 2, it has a slightly different feel, you know, a more alive feel. You know, the mixtapes, the Book of the Wicked series itself has a darker feel in general. You know, I went into the studio with the mentality of straight Wicked, you know, so, I mean, yeah, there's them thumpers on there that, you know, some people might not consider to be wicked, you know, but still, we got the wickedest artists rapping over it, you know, and number 2, still, it just has a little more liver feel. If you look at the cover, it's a lot brighter, more poppy. It kind of resembles the way the music is. You know, the music's not poppy, but it's just it breathes. You know, it just breathes a lot. You know, there's some cool shit on there too, real good stuff.
Okay, now, why did you make the change in your mixtapes from the Let 'Em Bleed series to the Book of the Wicked?
Just, you know, change of pace. Time. You know, I didn't want to do Let 'Em Bleeds all my life. You know, I don't want to be on Let 'Em Bleed chapter 138. You know what I'm saying? But you know, or volume 138. I didn't want to have that. But you know, so switch it up just like anybody. You know, any rapper would switch up an album. You know, they do a different album, different title, different theme every couple years. You know, they're just like extended albums, pretty much, kinda. You know, but they resemble Psychopathic all the way. You know, the
Okay.
Juggalos, the underground movement, all that. So you know, you get the Let 'Em Bleed series. I did four volumes of that. You know, within a 2-year period, something like that, and then moved on to the Book of the Wicked series. Did the first one, now the second one's about to drop.
Okay, do you think that at some point in throughout the rest of your career we might see a Let 'Em Bleed chapter, volume 5 or 6 pop up?
I thought about it. I tossed the idea around in my head, like, man, it might be sweet, because the whole thing is there's a difference between the Let 'Em Bleeds and the Book of the Wickeds. Book of the Wickeds, like I said, got the darker theme, you know, the darker mentality, and Let 'Em Bleeds is where it was like whatever, you know, let's just go hard, do the beats, you know, just get anybody to collaborations that, you know, you see crazy collaborations on every one of those Let 'Em Bleeds, you know, from me and Tech Nine, me and Jamie Madrox to, you know what I'm saying, to Bizarre having his own track that was fresh, you know, and that's what Let 'Em Bleeds were about. And the Book of the Wickeds, it's kind of like, you know, let's focus on the wicked shit strictly, you know. So we do the wicked shit strictly, and if I ever come back to a Let 'Em Bleed 5, you know, get on that phone, let's go, call people up, let's get them collaborations again, get it cracking, you know.
Okay, do you think that there will be another name change in your mixtapes after a Book of the Wicked chapter 3 or 4?
Definitely, yeah, definitely. Just like an album would, you know, maybe 2 years from now. You know, I don't know exactly how many Book of the Wickeds I'm gonna put out by that time. But, you know, let's say there's 4, you know, let's say there's 4 Book of the Wickeds again, like the Let 'Em Bleeds. You know, after that, maybe I'll switch it up again and call it something else dope and have a fresh theme for that whole series.
Okay. Just switching gears a little bit, looking back on the song Kept Grindin' off Let 'Em Bleed Volume 3. It was just real long-ass, excellent track about everybody on Psychopathic just kind of rapping about their story and how they came to be on the label. And so could you dive in and give us a little bit more detail about your verse and how you came to be with Psychopathic today?
Yeah, man, that song got so much hype. I mean, every time I talk to anybody in Juggalos, like, hey, you kept grinding this song, man. Felt that right here, like, you know, but it's all truth, you know, everybody rapped about how they got on the label, I did, but, you know, in a shorten it down, you know, sweet and simple, but, yeah, the background, you know, I tell the story a lot, you know, a lot of people ask in interviews, you know, how, and it's, you know, there was no lie in that verse, you know, the extended version is, you know, I was probably like 16, going on 17, might have been, yeah, I was 16, when I did my first Psychopathic show. It was a Big Ballers Christmas at the Shelter in Detroit, and you know, I did little stuff. I knew the Rude Boy from the neighborhood, from around in the Southwest there, you know, just because I, you know, DJing around the hood there, and ran into him, was DJing some party for like a relative of his or something, and he liked the way I DJ and always kind of put in the good word, but Psychopathic, you know, whenever they needed a DJ. So I would DJ stuff like that, and then throughout the years I did, you know, numerous Big Ballers, you know, Twisted, Man's Myth, a record release party in Detroit, just stuff in Detroit though, you know, I was a young motherfucker, you know, so, and then it was like February 2006, I got a phone call up from Rude Boy, like, hey, you want to be Shaggy's DJ? Like, sure, you know, we're going to go on tour, all this and that. He said, explained it all, like, let's do it. Did it, and been doing it ever since, you know.
Okay, and Let 'Em Bleed Volume 3 dropped in late '09, and then it was late '09, correct?
Let 'Em Bleed 3?
Yeah.
Late, no, I think it was like mid, something like that, somewhere around there.
Okay, so Let 'Em Bleed 3 came out in 2009, and then in the early part of 2010, many months after its release, we actually got the awesome video for, you know, Kept Grinding. Why do you think it took so long? Was that something y'all were planning from the beginning, or you decided to do the video in retrospect?
No, yeah, no, that's something, you know, when I was done with all 4 of them all together, it's like, let's do it. It was before the release of the box set. We did it, that video, you know, let's do something for this box set, special, you know, promote the box set and the whole series. What represents this whole series to the fullest? This song, you know what I'm saying? Everybody, this good 10-minute song, you know?
Yeah.
So let's shoot a video for it. We did it, you know, we shot the video. I don't know if you ever seen it, you know, I know a lot of motherfuckers probably have, but it's kind of based, kind of homage to like the old Craig Mack video, the Flavor in Your Ear. Here comes some brand new flavor in your ear. That track, you know what I'm talking about? It's like that. If you watch that video, it's all Bad Boy. You know, there's Biggie, Craig Mack, Busta Rhymes, Diddy. They're all in it, and you know, there was a whole squad, like a family. You know how they were doing Bad Boy, and I'm like, we're a family. You know what I'm saying? We're a whole squad. Let's do it like that. We did all black and white, simple. You know, back in the day, it was like early '90s when they did that video, and you know, I wanted to just keep that flavor, early '90s style. You know, simple, not big budget. We did it black and white. You know, just like that.
Okay, and something that you and I were kicking around before the interview was actually some more about your past before you came to be on Psychopathic and some of the mixtapes you had done beforehand. Would you care to touch on that a little bit for everybody listening?
Those mixtapes are probably hard as fuck to find. You know, they're out there though. They're out there. I did, I think it was like 3 mixtapes before I got signed to Psychopathic. It was like, yeah, it was a mixtape called End of Your Career. Hey, good luck finding it. It's out there though. It's gonna be hard. You're a ninja if you find it. You know, I put out mixtapes for this rapper in Detroit named Bells. You probably heard of him on the Let 'Em Bleed. He was a homie. You know, I put out 2 of his mixtapes, and that started getting real tough with the Psychopathic mixtapes.
Okay, excellent. Well, DJ Clay, I think that's all the questions I got for you today. Is there anything else you'd like to say to everybody listening?
Hey, December 7th, check it out. Book of the Wicked, Chapter 2. Shit's horde. And that's about it.
All right, excellent. Well, Juggalos, Juggalettes, this has been DJ Clay and Big Ian. Peace. We're out.
Oops.
Pitch black, the darkness falls. Nothing left to say when the curtain calls. Close your eyes and let's begin. Death steady knocking, better let him in. All around a bloody mess. Squirt from the veins while you confess. It's too late for your regret. Pupils dilate, take your last breath. Bass fills the room from a tune, and your heart is beating faster than the rhythm from the hi-hat. Fate lacerates the